the Board of Works and Public Safety meeting for February 2nd. I'll just make another reminder with our owl camera here. Try not to have any side conversations, speak loudly so it can be picked up. First item on the agenda will be the minutes from the previous meeting.
I move we approve the minutes of the previous meeting of January 19th as presented.
I second.
Motion to second to approve the minutes from January 19th. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, that motion will pass. Anybody in the audience have any comments pertaining to tonight's agenda? Hearing none, we will move on to payments and vouchers. First one will be payroll claim register for the pay period of January 12th to January 25th in the amount of $46,252.41. Second one will be weight payroll in the amount of $130.90. Third will be January elected pay in the amount of $4,577.96. And the last one will be vouchers for the period of January 16th to January 30th in the amount of $272,849.97.
What is the weight payroll?
He's a volunteer firefighter that worked during the storm,
Okay.
but I don't have direct deposit payroll for him, so I had to write a paper check.
Thank you. Do you have any other questions? No? You good?
Yep, I'm good.
I move that we approve the payroll claim register for the pay period of 1/12 through 1/25 in the amount of $46,252.41. Move that we approve the weight payroll in the amount of $130.90. The one for the January elected pay in the amount of $4,577.96. And the last item is the vouchers for the period of 1/16 to 1/30 in the amount of $272,849.97.
Second.
The motion in a second to accept payroll payments and vouchers as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, that motion will pass. Next will be adjustment requests. We have two of them, 2026-02 for 317 Elm Street, leak at meter, credit account $121.83. Second one is 2026-03, annual write-off of $4,438.05.
I move we approve the adjustment request, 2026-02, 317 Elm Street for a meter leak, the amount of $121.83, and 2026-03 annual write-offs amounting to $4,438.05.
I second.
Motion and a second to approve the adjustment request as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, that motion will pass. All right, moving on to department reports. So we'll start off with here. And we'll start off with Matt.
Nothing for board works at this time.
Ron.
I have two things for review for the board of works. The two proposals here, one of them is the proposal for the new Hearst equipment that we're looking at. And you'll see that on the orange copy that you guys have. And what I want you to do basically is just ask any questions that you might have on that. And then next board of works meeting and stuff, then we'll look for, approval to go forward with that. Basically, what that boils down to is that we gave you three different things there. The $49,716 is what a new set of Hearst equipment at the kind of the new generation, you might say. And it also is the one that's equivalent batteries to the one that we have on one of our rigs now. The old set that we have on our Quinn has the older set of batteries, so they're not interchangeable. With this newer one, they will, okay? So that's, you know, kind of what we're going to, so that we would have enough batteries for both sets, and they'll be equal that way. And then what we're looking at is a demo set. So the 49,716 is brand new. The 34,574 is the demo set, okay? Now, we've done demo before, and in fact, this is the last one that we did was demo. And I personally just rather go that route because one, it's cheaper and it's the same as what the other one is. And then what we've got here is the 18,000 down there, that's what the set is that we would like to sell to replace this one with. And that's the lowest price that I believe that we'll ask for, period. So that's what that is. So the total cost, if everything goes the way I want it to, we'll be at that one at the bottom right there. So a brand new set being what I had said earlier, and then what after everything is tallied out, that's how much we would end up paying for this demo set. So take a look at that, review that for the next week or so, and then we'll talk about it at the next Board of Works meeting.
I do have a quick question, though.
Yeah.
Just, do we have any other interchangeable batteries that we then sell, the current demo set?
That set, all those batteries will go with it. The ones that we have that's in our engine right now, we get the same batteries as what this one has. So the engine will end up going to the Quint, the new one will go on this one, and those batteries will interchange with both sets then, both trucks. As it is right now, both trucks are independent of each other. So everything that goes with that other set would go with it when we sell it. Chargers, you know, any accessories or anything like that. So that's the Hearst thing. And then the other one is the yellowish colored copy here, and that's for the air packs. I just wanted to let everybody know what we're looking at is this is the final phases of that. So if you'll see where the highlighted area is, we're getting 21 air packs equipped with masks and regulators, and we were awarded 188,000, okay, through the grant itself. On the back page right there where it says responsible for, they will pay out 95% of that 188,000, then we're responsible for that 8,900, okay? So those are things, just kind of look at those, and I'll come back, you know, next Board of Works meeting and stuff for approval. Unless you have questions now. Overall, fairly decent deal. Thank you. Thanks. That's it.
Thank you, Rich.
All right, moving on to Stuart.
Nothing for the Board of Works.
Next is streets, we have Chris.
So I'm gonna ask the Board of Works for our 2026 community crossing grant. We got our bids back. You can see there, API, Wayne Asphalt, BC Construction, Brooks, and paving. But what I'm asking is for us to go ahead and approve Butler to go ahead and do the work that came in to lowest bid.
What's that?
I heard I'm not heard Justin, that's my first time. Which was the lowest bid again?
Over up there.
I did receive an email back from the USI consultants that said Pulver was a approved NDOT asphalt paving company, but their plant was not NDOT approved. So I called Pulver today, and they have been NDOT approved since about the last 18 months. So they are NDOT approved as an asphalt plant. USI did question a little bit on some of the pricing being cheaper on some of the pipes and some of the concrete work, but he also said that's because they're not going through the union hall. We're doing stuff locally on our own guys are doing it, that's where we're able to save the money, so.
Actually, yeah, I've been on a lot of culvert projects and they do really work.
They've been very aggressive with their bidding in the this year. Very aggressive.
I did talk to Brittany in Waterloo, last weekend. I talked to Mayor Clark from Auburn today, and they've had no issues with me. So yeah, culverts would be $496,902.75.
I'm good, I just wanna make sure you got it.
And
That we know we got it. I move that we approve the Butler asphalt, bid in the amount not to exceed $496,902.75.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the bid from Culver Asphalt as presented. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, that motion will pass. Anything else, Chris? I will add to that, the engineering amount was $695,000. Our 80/20 was, based off of that, where I believe our grant was for $540,000, left us paying $130,000. Now, this is all under budgeted, it's gonna cut back our 20% match. I think we're gonna be below 100,000, so there's gonna be about $35,000 that we have already budgeted that we could possibly use if we run into any additionals on that project. Or not, Chris, I didn't get a chance to connect today, but, we can also use that money for construction assessment. We want to send somebody from USI up here to look at what they're doing periodically, make sure they're doing things by spending. So something you and I are gonna have to talk about absolutely this week yet. All right, moving on to IT. Braxton.
I have nothing for Board of Works.
Okay. Andy, you have anything for the Board of Works?
No, I just, I'll say thank you to everybody involved with our recent events. So all the helpful, encouraging words were nice. So, everything worked out.
Okay, thank you. Gavin.
I have nothing for Board of Works.
Okay, Don.
Nothing.
Angela.
I have several items. The first item would be a new engagement letter agreement related to services from Baker Tilly. This was sent to me in response for some questions I asked about arbitrage reporting, but that's another item on the agenda. The arbitrage group is a different group than what we typically deal with when we do our financial planning and when we do our bond issues. So we need a separate engagement letter for the arbitrage group. At least that was my understanding. So there is no dollar figure associated with the engagement letter. It's just notifying us of their responsibilities and our responsibilities.
And then we won't be charged anything later down the road for that.
No, those are on my next two proposals, yeah.
This is just an acknowledgement of receipt of the letter.
Yes, and that we know there's a limitation on damages, we know how to terminate the contract, and what we need to notify them of if it occurs.
limitations of liability, basically.
Yeah.
I'm good with this.
I move we acknowledge receipt of the arbitrage reporting letter from Baker Tilly as presented.
A second.
Motion is second to approve the, engagement letter agreement for the arbitrage as presented. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, that motion will pass.
Okay, so the next item is the actual arbitrage reporting. In case most of you probably don't know, I had to look it up also, what is arbitrage? There's a very short definition included in your packets. It's basically, they audit our records to make sure that the city of Butler did not make money off of issuing these bonds because they are tax exempt bonds. So if we made money on them, we owe the government. That's basically what it is.
Interest still correct.
Interest is okay, yes. But some people buy bonds and then go and use that money to buy bonds. So there's a lot of intricacies that have to be investigated that are required. So this is called a scope appendix. They do not give a dollar figure, but they do give their hourly rates for the different positions and what bonds we still have outstanding that we still need to do the arbitrage reporting on. That is Exhibit A.
So this one here, you ask for approval of $39,600.
No, that's the financial planning one.
Okay.
This one, I'm not asking for a set figure.
But you're asking for approval. for
Yes,
service.
you can tell me a figure and I will let them know that this is their budget. They have to let us know. There are two different ones.
Okay.
And the two, there's no green pages.
Exhibit A
I only got 2 green pages.
is this one. That all goes
Oh,
together.
it's all together.
It's all together. And then this green page, this is for the financial planning.
The words we won't have to talk about.
Keep going that way. There.
Okay, I thought that was for the one that we just talked about.
No, they make it complicated. We have to acknowledge we know their rules,
Okay.
and then we have to give them permission to do their hourly rate.
Do we know what an estimated estimated cost that they've done in the past for other places? Or for us in the past?
Do we know how many hours?
Yeah, that's it.
No.
Potentially get involved.
Would you consider setting the budget at $5,000?
That's kind of what I was thinking, or
And then I'll notify them that if they're getting close to that, they need to let me know because I need more approval.
That might give us a chance to see what they're doing, what they charge per hour, what their hour wise and getting
Based on
involved.
these hourly rates.
Yeah, 5,000 won't get us very far.
and is every single one of these titles involved in the process?
Yes.
And their own business.
I think $5,000 would get us a good summary without having any past experience with it. And then would they be willing to come in and talk to these, numbers that they're spending in the future?
I'm sure they would, or do a Zoom meeting. We've
Yeah.
done that in the past.
When I move to, approve a spending cap for the Baker Tilly arbitrary reporting of $5,000 and not to exceed the $5,000, be used towards their hourly rate.
Second.
Motion and a second to Authorize 5,000, not to exceed 5,000 for arbitrage reporting. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, that motion will pass.
Okay, so the last proposal from Baker Tilly is the next green sheet, and it's titled Financial Planning and Continuing Disclosures for Bonds. And that does have a price of $39,600. And if you look at the next page, I put together how much we spent on these exact same items for 25 versus what their proposal is for 26. And there is a savings of $8,417.
Do you know if last year we ended up going back and adding to it, or they called us and?
No.
Okay.
Last year, we didn't have an agreement like this for the continuing services part. It was only on the financial planning part. So just in case you're wondering, continuing disclosures are reports required by the bond issuers every year to let them know if we are still solvent or if we're in danger of not being able to make our payments, basically. Because they want to know how much we've got set aside, how much is in our operating accounts.
I move we approve the special purchase request for Baker Tilly for financial planning and continuing disclosures for bonds not to exceed $39,600.
I would like to add to that, if it does exceed the $39,600, that we discuss it in a board works meeting or bring our attention to itemize those for anything above.
Is that your second then?
Yep.
The motion is second to approve the Baker Tilly contract for financial planning as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, that motion will pass.
Thank you, that was all I had.
All right, Bob, you have anything for the Board of Works?
No, sir.
Justin?
I do not. I do want to say, good job, everybody who reacted to our city being in need, both police department, fire, city, water, and all last year. You guys did an excellent job reacting to the catastrophic water line failure and putting all the extra hours in to get our residents taken care of. We covered a lot of great comments from neighbors and outside residents. So great job to everyone who put their time in and above and beyond.
Second that.
We will second, third that.
Yeah.
You're welcome. The only other thing I have here is the Cal County Humane Society agreement. And we talked last month about, going back to our initial contract, which was $2,200 a year. That was pretty much unlimited. Or we could go with the new contract of $1,000 up front, pay $150 per animal. Figure we sent 8 dogs to them last year. You take that 150 times the 8 dogs, that puts us at 1,200. Put the 1,000 on, we're back to 2,200. So you guys just kind of leaning towards that $2,200 contract. But I did send you out both of them just to compare.
I haven't seen anything that make me change my mind on that. I think 2,200 is the way to go.
Yeah, like I said, it was a good conversation with those Teresa Feitner and the director and Dave Hauser, the treasurer. Very good conversation. I'm happy with the contracts they proposed, so.
I move that we approve the, Humane Society contract and that the mayor sign this year's 2026 contract with them and not to exceed the amount of $2,200.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the DeKalb Humane Society agreement for $2,200. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, that motion will pass. Does anybody in the audience have anything for the Board of Works? All right, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move we adjourn.
Meeting adjourned at 6:55. We'll start up in 5 minutes.